Hello again. My name is Vanessa Bright, and in this video, I want to talk about this question of resting and how it differs from the kind of resting that most of us do, which is sort of flopping on the couch and scrolling on our phones or, binge watching a show on Hulu or Netflix or something like that, or YouTube videos, whatever. This question came to mind for me when I went to take a little swim. I'm very lucky to live in a house that has a pool, and it was the end of a very, very busy weekend where I did multiple projects, and I was very tired. And I thought, well, what a great place to just go and float in one of those floaty things in the pool and relax and really rest, right? Give my body a rest because I was physically working a lot. Maybe give my mind a rest because there's nothing to do. I'm just in the pool. Well, I think I where this is going, which is that once I got in the pool, my body may have been resting, but my mind was certainly not, right? It was where I actually went was, I wonder what I did this weekend. Did I even do anything useful? I remember doing this, but that was only a couple hours. What else did I do? And how did the weekend get away from me? And it wasn't that I was denying that I did anything of value or was productive. I knew that I was. My mind started sifting through it all, being like, well, what did I do? Can I list it? I don't know what. And it got me thinking about this question of rest and how hard it is for most of us in this culture to really rest. It's not encouraged. I think at this point we all know that productivity is valued over presence, and most of us try to do a lot and, in fact, feel like we're not doing enough, even when we're doing a lot, because it's just not enough. There's never enough, right? It's this sort of catch-22. So I thought about how hard it is to rest. And what I did was I made a genuine attempt to do it, to rest. It's kind of a funny oxymoron because it's like I'm working not to work, it's like I was practicing how to rest, and it was challenging. And that's why it made me think about doing a video about it, because I have a feeling a lot of people watching this will actually have the same kind of challenge. And I know that a lot of the people that I work with do that, where either they feel like they have to constantly be working, or when they aren't, they zone out. Rather than actually resting, they will lie on the couch and scroll on social media or play video games or play doodle jump or whatever it is, So that's not really resting. Your body may get a break because your muscles are not active and not being, except for the thing holding your phone. But actual rest is different. And so I wanted to go into that a little bit so I remember learning this in acupuncture school. So that was before my psychoanalytic training. It was a 5-year full-length graduate level program in acupuncture. And one of the first things we learned in the classes about like bedside manner and working with people. So not the acupuncture point classes, not the point combinations and all the diagnoses and everything like that, but how to actually help people in their healing process. One of the things we learned was that healing only happens when someone is actually restful. They need to arrive at your space, and this is why there's incense and there's gentle music and beautiful imagery and all these things. It's to create an atmosphere of relaxation for the body and also for the mind. The person needs to feel completely held and supported and safe and seen and all of the things, right? All of the things that will allow their bodies to just, you heard me just exhale now, because I think I was picturing that kind of space. And even that alone allowed me to exhale and relax a little more. And this is what we're hoping for people. And the same goes for therapy. Therapy offices are usually kind of calm, soothing spaces with artwork and maybe not music, because the point is to have space to talk. But maybe in the waiting room there's music, and there's maybe aromatherapy or flowers or soothing colors and a healing environment, right? So, okay, where do I want to go with this? Next is meditation, right? So a lot of people try to include meditation in their daily life, and that's wonderful. But a lot of times what happens is that either you rush and don't actually allow yourself to relax, or you don't actually know how to relax. And so then it becomes another chore, another thing to do, I'm supposed to accomplish this today, and if I don't, it's a failure, right? So how do you actually make use of that time and space for yourself? And this is where I thought reframing it as rest is actually useful. There is what is she? She's a medium, a psychic medium. Her name is Suzanne Giesemann. She talks about reframing meditation as sitting in peace, SIP, which I think is basically what I'm talking about, is how can you find a space in yourself where you can be in peace, not at peace necessarily, but in peace, where you allow your body to cycle down into that parasympathetic rest and digest kind of space. Take a breath, right? So let it sit, not just settle physically, but also in every way. And I think that thinking about it as allowing your body to rest and your mind to rest, which is more challenging, I think that can help shift your sense of what meditation is, what it can be, what its purpose is, because I think a lot of us Westerners still see it, like I was saying before, as a chore, as a task, as a thing to accomplish, and it's none of those things. And if you approach it from that place, even on an unconscious level, where you are this good new age person, or you're a good spiritual person, or, well, I meditate, and there's this little, my little fists go up because, yeah, I'm doing it. Well, that's a very sympathetic, fight or flight. And even if it's not fight or flight in your body, where you feel the squirt of adrenaline and you feel your heart pounding, doesn't matter. A lot of our bodies are constantly in sympathetic mode, even without those symptoms present. They're just present on such a subtle level that we don't notice them. So the way to actually have a meditation practice that functions and does something for you besides checking it off your to-do list is to start from that restful place. And if you can't, then that is the purpose of your meditation for that day, is to encourage yourself to rest, to find anywhere possible where you can cycle down, where you can breathe smoothly, where you can not want to be getting up constantly, where you're not trying to what do I need to do? What else is missing in my house? Or what else should I be putting on my list? All that stuff that's necessary, for us in the daily life. You have to get groceries. You have to, do laundry. You have to clean the house. You have to this and that and the other thing. That's okay. But meditation is about setting all that aside and either sitting in peace or resting, because that is where healing actually happens, right? So, and then I can't have a video where I don't mention nature, because nature is one of the surefire ways of connecting to that parasympathetic state. Of course, not if you're in the wilderness and there's animals and what have you, then you're probably going to be more on edge. And I'm obviously not talking about that, right? I'm talking about a safe place where you're, either hiking or just visiting a state park or something like that, where the ground is natural. So it's not a concrete, and you can, if you can, and it's safe, you can walk barefoot. And that's actually really, really healthy for, it's called earthing, where something, I don't know the science, but something to do with electrical charges from your body, like excess electricity in your body, getting neutralized or absorbed by the earth, and you re-equalizing with the energy of the earth. And so that's really a beautiful way of resting and finding that restful place. So I want you to think about that. If this sounds interesting, if this connects to your experience of either trying to meditate or having a hard time resting in general, where you either are constantly doing, or you're zoning out with your phone or TV or both or food or whatever, and you don't actually ever find a place of true rest, think about that and practice it. Practice it in small moments during the day. It doesn't have to be from 8 o'clock until 8:05 or 8:30 or whatever. I'm sitting here and I'm going to be working. I think it's really better to find moments in the day where, I don't know, you have 10 minutes before something else, before your appointment or before something. See if you can take a few breaths and think about this idea of rest and allowing your body to rest, and see if you're holding any tension in your body, if you are breathing shallowly, if your mind is racing, if you are constantly wanting to pick up your phone and scroll or look at it or something like that, even if there's nothing there. Or if, let's say, you're trying to read and you're finding it really hard to focus. Those are just some of the ideas for how it might look when you have a hard time resting. And see if you can mindfully just take 60 seconds, take 2 minutes, take, a little bit of time. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out, protracted process, but practice resting, right? Practice. I'm actually going to do it here with the camera on, because when I speak into the camera, I have to be aware of where I'm looking and my image and my notes. And even if I'm free associating at times, I'm still a little bit more on than I would otherwise be. But if you want to just take a minute with me, I'm going to get a little more comfortable. And this is literally going to just take a few seconds. And you can close your eyes if it feels good. You don't have to. Take a breath like I just did. You're not on. There's nothing to do. See if you notice if your mind is racing or if your body is tight, if it's hard to take that relaxed breath. If you're waiting for the video to be over, if you're telling yourself, oh, I should be doing this every day. Try to set all of that aside and just see if you can rest right now, just for a few seconds. Just a little bit of rest in your day. And there'll be a little bit of stillness that you feel or hear or just sense, like I just felt it in my body. Just that little bit of ease and calm. So that's really all it is, right? That was, I don't know if it was a minute even, but I encourage you to take it to heart, because we're all rushing and we're all constantly doing things. And unless you practice resting and know how to really fully get into a restful state, it's going to be really hard to actually heal very much. You'll probably be in your mind. You'll probably be analyzing a lot and not getting too far with it, because unless your body's in a restful state, or can get to a restful state eventually, right? Because sometimes you feel some intense emotion and that's not restful. But if you allow that emotion and allow it to cycle through and then find that restful still point, it's going to be very hard to heal without that. So I hope you found something useful in this. Let me know in the comments. I always welcome those. And thanks for watching and hanging out with me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.